It's funny because we're really going to talk about the challenges we've already been having this morning. There's been technical difficulties, microphones deciding what they did and did not want to do. I thought we weren't using this today, and now we are. But we're going to talk about all that. And I want to take a moment to give thanks. Ellie brought us these beautiful blue curtains, and then Miranda brought us another blackout curtain that's behind this. Last week on the video, Tal and Amy were just two black figures standing in front of a bright window. And mine, even though with this, I was much darker of complexion. Anyway, so we want to, as we're settling into this room, give thanks for this room. I'm so grateful. I came and just hung out in here for a while yesterday. And welcome. All right, let's take this time to spiritually align and do an opening prayer together. I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. I like to get both of my feet on the floor so that I feel fully grounded in the moment. It allows me to sit up a little taller, knowing that I know what I know about who I am and what I am. We give thanks for this day exactly like it is. All the greenery outside is getting its nourishment as the rain falls today. Thank you, God. And we're getting our nourishment by joining together in like-mindedness, celebrating our truth, claiming our good, claiming our prosperity, knowing that our prosperity is our source and supply, and knowing what our source and supply is, which is God. Just God. All there is God. And with that, we let it be well. We let it be so. And so it is. And amen. All right, y'all ready to do some singing? Because Maria is, and she would love for you to stand and join along. And the lyrics will be right up there.
Thank you, Wally.
I'll stand over here behind you so that I'm not blocking the screen.
Oh, well, I found the words.
Oh, cool.
So I'm good. Yes, I invite you to stand and join me in singing Use Me. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Still technical difficulties. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us, clap, to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? 'cause it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. God needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I'll stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Thank you guys for keeping me on track somewhat. I don't think so.
Thank you. Good morning. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. And being in this space is absolutely fabulous. Good morning and welcome home. I'm going to ask you all to repeat after me. If you're watching us virtually, please type this in the comments. Everyone look around at your neighbors and repeat after me. Good morning. Good morning. I love you this morning. And I sure do appreciate you being here. To our virtual church family, please know that we are saying that to you as well. Help us grow this loving community by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to our pages. Now, if you'll join me in our affirmations, they're on the screen. If you'll join me in reading them together. Divine, wait a minute. Okay. April affirmations. Divine wisdom flows through me, energizing and renewing all areas of my life. It is my spiritual compass for the decisions I make, the words I choose, the ideas and beliefs I hold in my mind. I trust in divine guidance and wisdom to illuminate the clearest path forward. My steps are in order and my thoughts rise to new heights. And our unity reading is the unity principles. Now please join me in affirming our 5 foundational principles. There is only one ultimate power in the universe. That power is God, and its nature is absolute, unchanging good. Human beings were created from absolute good, and so our inherent nature is also good. We call the inherent goodness of human beings the Christ. Our thoughts are our creative power. Whatever we persistently focus our thoughts and feelings upon manifests in our lives. Prayer and manifesting are essential elements of the spiritual life because they focus our thoughts on our oneness with God and all creation. It is not enough to know the truth. We must put that truth into action in our lives. We must live the truth we know.
Thank you, Brenda. Rod Randolph, I'm the prayer chaplain today. I don't have my shawl because I ironed it this last night. So we nice and crisp for the next month that I'm. But it does sort of match these colors and maybe my shirt even. But at any rate, if you would like to make a prayer request, we have several ways of doing that. Our honorary prayer chaplain is bringing up the prayer box. So if you are here physically anytime, you can fill out a form that goes in that box. Or you can go to the website and click a link for prayer request as well. So I invite you to bring to mind someone or something that could benefit from prayer. And now imagine that situation that has already resolved and what that might look like. If the problem is over, what is different? So we move into our heart, we relax the body, we focus on the breath, slowing the mind and opening ourselves to divine guidance. And we add to our request these names: Regina Wapples, Donna Benfield, David Bennett Potts, Sherelle, Marsha Walters, Josephina Cerezo, Norma Hindeleader. We envision everyone surrounded by the healing light of the Christ Spirit. The etheric, the energy, the thought bodies are all purified by this light. So also is the physical perfected as well. As false beliefs fall away with grace, we see from the level of the soul, releasing all thoughts of separation. And in these moments, the truth is revealed. Miracles become commonplace. Profound gratitude emerges. We welcome opportunities to share our loving presence with others, to be channels for God, for goodness, for our higher selves. We align with the teachings of the saints and avatars and the Christ Spirit as we claim our place as directors of life energy. We easily envision the best for every situation. For us as individuals and for all beings. Moving past knowledge and moving into experience, we realize the magnificence of the body, the mind, and the hearts. Aware of the sacred within, with grace, gratitude, we are allowing miracles. And we send love energy to everyone, everywhere we go, for the highest good of ourselves and all others. We claim it is so. And we continue in silence and meditation, releasing our prayers and faith. Just gratitude for being fully present now. Knowing that we are making a difference with our prayer energies, with our pure presence, as we relax into pure being. And should any thoughts arise, simply return attention to the breath. No effort, gently breathing. From the stillness and the silence is the beginning of all creation. So we carry forth in our day and in the coming week this feeling of stillness, knowing that it is only a breath away. And as you're ready, bring your attention back to the body. Notice how you're sitting. And gently open your eyes. Thank you, Nana. So it is now, are you going to give an introduction? Are you going to introduce yourself?
There are people on the other side of the camera that may not.
Okay, I'll tell you a little bit about me. My grandmother sold butter and milk when I was a child, and I stayed with her until I started school. And the one good thing about me is that I'm not shy. I might not be perfect, but I'm not shy. And so she'd say, "Neat, get up there and sing them a song." I'd go, "Okay." So that's how my childhood was. This is Linda Dunn. She is playing the piano today, and she and I have such a good time together. She was a church musician for 45 years. Imagine that. So she can look at a thing of music and just like, "Oh, okay, I can sing this." I think I'm going to switch microphones. Anyway, this song was recorded by John Denver and Olivia Newton-John. And it's written... Well, they didn't write the song together.
I didn't know they sang it.
I didn't either. And I saw this in a book. And I looked it up on YouTube, and that's how I found this song. And then I turned her onto this one, and she turned me onto the last one we're going to do, so that'll be a good one, too. But anyway, this is by John Jarvis and John Henry, and they wrote a lot of music for John Denver and Olivia Newton-John. The earth is our mother, just turning around, with the trees in the forest and roots underground. Our Father within us, who sighs the wind, paint us a rainbow without any end. As the river runs freely, the mountain does rise. Let me touch with my fingers and see with my eyes. In the hearts of the children a pure love still grows, like a bright star in heaven that turns their way home, like the flower that shattered the stone. Sparrows fly in freedom, beholding the sun. In the infinite beauty, we're all joined in one. I reach out before me and look to the sky. Did I hear someone whisper? Did something pass Thank you.
That was beautiful. I never heard that song before. Well, you heard it before me because you learned how to sing it. Good morning, everybody. Isn't it a beautiful day? Look, I've kind of always liked the rain, but like when I lived in New York, I didn't love it as much because you had to walk in it, you know. But when I moved to Los Angeles, where like basically from March through October it doesn't rain, except like when my friends and I would have a joint Halloween party, it almost always rained on that night. But you'd go such a long period with no rain that like when it would rain, I would just get so excited. And I lived there for 16 years, so I built up that excitement that, you know, when I came out of my house this morning, I was like, oh, it's raining. But I also started out the morning thinking I was going to wear something else, and I was like, oh, is it going to be too hot to have socks on? And then I pulled up the temperature, and it was 40-some degrees. I'm like, oh, I'm not wearing anything I thought I was going to wear today. So anyway, so we have started a series on the 10 Commandments, looking at the metaphysical lessons in it, looking at the prosperity lessons that's in it. And so here is the second commandment as written in the Bible, what we call the physical word before we get to the metaphysical word, right? So it says, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Did they leave anything out? They covered it, I think. Don't do it. Don't do it here. Don't do it there. Don't do it anywhere. That's Dr. Seuss's message of that. So, you know, the graven image that they were talking about during that time was the people, the golden calves and the Egyptian serpent heads and, you know, statues that they were worshiping, right? That's what they were talking about just in the physical word of it, right? We can stop there. There's a good message there. Hey, don't worship the stuff. Don't worship the material stuff of life. Like, use it, enjoy it, have fun with it, but don't need it. Because the second you need that one material thing, right, now you're in trouble, right? So that's the solid message in it. Before we even get to metaphysics and some of the messages that I've got here that some traditional church folks right now would call woo-woo. Before we even get to the woo-woo, you know, it's like, just don't worship the material stuff, right? So, and then I looked, you know, it's like, I've heard that for the longest time, you know, don't make the graven image, right? And yesterday I was like, what does graven mean exactly? Like, you know, I don't use that word in general language. I don't, you know, drive through at McDonald's and say, hey, I'll have the graven. I mean, I might ask for the gravy, but, you know, but they may be similar. So it means firmly fixed or deeply impressed. It is the root of the word that we do use a lot in modern day language, which is to have something engraved, to dig it in, to make it kind of permanent, right? I say kind of because, you know, there are people in the know that can get that stuff back off. But it's to like really dig it in there, to make it like stick, right? So that, and that falls back into, we're like, yeah, don't do that to material stuff. Don't get ourselves stuck on needing the dollar or needing the car or needing the, you know, the whatever. So the prosperity commandment of that second commandment is, thou shalt make no mental images of lack. Thou shalt make no mental images of lack. It's really saying the same thing. Don't get yourself stuck on, I've got to have this, because all the material stuff comes and goes. It's meant to flow. It's never meant to stay put, right? Like, that's us too, right? What's the guarantee? Death and taxes, right? And those change from year to year. Last year I got a refund. This year I had to pay. Whew. So it changes, right? So don't get stuck in, because if you get stuck on, I need this thing, I need this physical output of such and such, it's going to go away at some point. Like, it's wonderful to have a group of supportive friends that you can call when you need to talk through stuff and all of that. But that's why Commandment 1 is God first, right? Put nothing else before God, including that friend that you can always depend on to talk through it with you, right? Because the time may come that they're not available, or that you're stuck out somewhere and your cell phone doesn't work, so you can't call them. So then the one being that we can always call and talk to, because we're one with, is God, right? So it's that when we say don't make the mental image of lack, it's saying if you're dependent on this physical plane for your happiness, for your good, for your whatever, then we're in trouble, because nothing's meant to be permanent on the physical plane. It's all meant to kind of ebb and flow. There was an article that popped up on social media this week. There's this underground former town in Turkey that apparently once had a population of up to 20,000 people fully living underground. They had schools, they had chapels, they had all this stuff. And then at some point, people built above ground and had put a wall up. And this man was chasing his chicken and the chicken ran through a hole under the wall or something. And he was trying to get to his chicken, and he decided to break down this wall that there was all. It's like, well, where's the chicken gone? Let me get this out of the way. And when he opened it up, and suddenly he opened a tunnel into this forgotten place that, like, he was living above, right? So it still existed, but it also had gone away. We had drifted away from it. It had gone completely unused. I mean, it's still, nobody's moved in since he found it, but I think it may have turned into a tourist attraction. I think that's why I got to see an article about it. But, so there are always other things available, right? But there's also an ebb and flow to when we're going to use it. So when we look at lack, what we're talking about are false beliefs. And the false beliefs are lack, limitation, sickness, pain, fear, anxiety, poverty. Right? And I add poverty in there, and some people would be like, well, what's that mean? Because there's that whole saying, I think Charles Fillmore wrote at some point, that it's a sin to be poor. But that's not to say it's a sin to not have money. Poverty is a state of mind. Some of the happiest people in the world right now couldn't buy you a piece of gum if you needed cash from them. But they've found a way to live their happiest life because they're not looking at what they don't have. They're appreciating what they do have. So when we get stuck in those places, right, it comes up. It's going to come up for all of us. If it doesn't come up from your direct experience, people that you know and love, stuff's going to pop up. I was in here yesterday and I doing stuff, and I sat down, was looking at Facebook for a second, and one of my oldest friends, known him since 5th grade, his fiance had passed away. I mean, she's younger than me, so I still don't know what the thing was, but it's like, suddenly there was tragedy, and text started going between the other friends. Hey, do you know about what's happened? And so, but even in that moment, you can't get caught up in the, oh, poor, Johnny, Sally's gone now, and Johnny's all alone. Johnny's not all alone. There were 10 other people in a text almost immediately offering love and support and that sort of thing. Does that replace who made their transition? No, not at all. But it's to say, okay, there's some way to get through today. And in moments like that, today is all that really matters. If you start worrying about next week and next month and next year, like you're just going to get trapped in the missing of it, right? Like one of the hardest challenges for me, that when I thought I was learning and really using and knowing all this prosperity lessons that we get in New Thought, and I was struggling so hard, to pay the bills. I would have a stack of bills on my desk and a check would come in. It's like, all right, let's see which bills we can pay today, right? And I would get so mad because I was like, I don't understand. I'm using my affirmations. I'm using this information. Why isn't the bank account filling up? And it's because it took me years to really be able to look back in retrospect to get this, that all the time when I was using that affirmation, I am blessing this checkbook, this account is just filling up, I was doing it because I was looking at the balance that couldn't pay the stack of bills I had. And so the whole time I was saying, see, you can't trick God because you can't trick yourself. Like you can't say, no, I'm really happy today. I'm so happy today that, I'm so happy today. Right? You can't lie to yourself, right? Now, it's better to grit your teeth and say you're happy today than to say how you're emotionally feeling in the moment. Like you're at least getting one step there. But in that moment, I was still, like what you're thinking about, what you're feeling becomes the DNA, the real DNA of whatever words come out of your mouth, right? So, like, there are real facts in the world that are not alternative, right? There are actual facts. And yet, we all have our own feelings about every word that you use. Some people, I saw Ellie, this will be a good example. I love a good deviled egg. Ellie despises a deviled egg, right? So there's these two little words that brings happiness to me and brings disgust to her, right? So, the word itself, you can learn every positive affirmation in the world, but the word itself will not do it. You've got to do the work of meditating, of connecting to your truth, of getting to that happy place where you can really use it in a productive way, where you can really manifest and create stuff. The words are great. The words are important, but the words are not a magic trick. So just saying them without getting in touch with them loses the power of them. Right? And so that's what we're talking about. Like the word itself can't be your graven image, right? Because even if you engrave it on a nice piece of silver, somebody can come behind and scrub that stuff right off, right? So it's about getting in touch and knowing and purposefully using your spiritual power that you absolutely have all day, every day. So what else do I have here in notes? So when you're in those places, when you're in that place of like, I really need to pick me up, like I have nothing in common with Wally about the rain. I'm only happy when it's sunshiny, and so I don't feel good today. In that moment, what you've got to do is stop looking at what it is you don't like and start focusing in within your mind of what you do want. And the important thing for us to know, especially when it comes to like those real struggles, but it comes in technical difficulties too. It comes in I can't find my keys. If you go running around your house saying, I can't find the keys, you are correct. You cannot find the keys because you're affirming it, right? So in those moments, what I learned to do is to stop and connect with God, who is an everywhere equally present energy that we're all connected to. So wherever the keys are, let me touch base with what's already touching base with the keys that I'm looking for, right? God is absolute good. Is that a statement that you can believe is true for you? Repeat it with me. God is absolute good. Now, ask yourself if you really believe that or whether you just were trying to play along and play nice in the room. If you believe it, then say it again with that feeling. God is absolute good. That's not some magic thing. It's not some piece of a show. It's giving you something that you can connect with at all times of all days. When you leave here, if you hit some traffic in the road and you're trying to get to that next place you're supposed to get, you know what? God is absolute good. I'm either going to get there on time or it's going to work out that it's fine that I get there as soon as I get there. That is not an excuse. But it's to say the panic of it won't help, right? So that becomes a fundamental principle in everything that I'm doing. God is absolute good in everything that I do, in everything that I'm involved in, because God is, was, and always will be. And I'm part of that. So I is, was, and always will be. You is, was, and always will be, even though that's grammatically incorrect. And Brenda's probably she's probably got goosebumps because I'm so grammatically incorrect in that moment. But like, is, was, and always will be is your factual truth. And the good of that is your factual truth. All the negative stuff is the human experience. The good, the true foundational good, is your spiritual truth, right? So in some other times, we have to choose to walk on water. We have to choose to use what Della called in a book that she wrote called Prosperity Commandments, the law of force, not the law of forcing, the animal kingdom or the material good, not the law of I can come and push you and force you down. It's to put my mind in the place of like, I am not going to get caught up in this storm. I'm not going to get caught up in this confusion. That's metaphysically what the stormy water is. It's just those mixed up emotions. And so when you really want to, you say, I'm going to walk above this. I'm going to rise above this, and I'm going to keep moving forward. That's walking on water metaphysically. And you can do it all day, every day. Now, not in the material world. When you walk out of here, there's probably a puddle. If you step in it, your foot's going to go all the way to the bottom of it, right? But emotionally, you always have the power to rise above it and stay above it. So in John 7:24, it says, judge not by appearances, but with the righteous judgment. Like that kind of biblical language becomes troubling sometimes because you hear righteous and you immediately just thought of somebody. Probably not one of your favorite people. Right? Probably not one of your favorite memories from childhood. Righteous. Righteous, I'll say, right? But so metaphysically, righteousness is just simply, like first, it's still somewhat of a troubled definition, is right thinking and right action. Well, right or wrong, right? It's the right in, I am getting in touch with my spiritual truth, knowing that all things are good all the time, that God is all there is, and God is good all the time. So good is all there is all the time, even though I'm having this experience. There's good for me somewhere in it, either in around the next corner, or maybe I have to sit through a little bit of a longer storm, but there is good for me in this. I'm growing through this. I am expanding in this. There is good for me at all times. There is no lack of good. There is no limitation of good. I am good all the time. That's the message in this. That's the message that we want to get to. Della also wrote in that book, I highlighted this one quote, which is just a short little sentence. It says, it takes courage to trust God. It takes courage to trust God because we're often faced with stuff that's like, this is some mess. This is some trouble. This is some awful stuff that my friend is going through, that I'm going through. But in that moment, I'm gonna refuse to put all my attention in on the negative. In this moment, I'm going to trust God. That's a challenge. That takes courage because you're not seeing it in the moment. That's when you're using your faith, because the faith is what? It's the things, I forget the exact quote of it from the Bible, the things that are not seen, right? Right, but it's the things that you're expecting, the things that you're claiming that you don't have proof of yet. That's using that takes some courage if you're in the midst of a storm. In Luke 22:32, Jesus says, I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith may not fail. Now, I had seen that and Simon had gotten pulled out of it. But when I actually pulled out the Bible quote and it had Simon in there, I put it back in because it's an important piece of the message, especially when we're looking at metaphysics. Simon is Peter, and Peter represents faith for us. But Simon had to shift his mindset. Simon had to shift what he was going to think about and speak about and act on to get into the Peter mindset, which is the faith. So in this moment, it's saying, hey, the shaky faith part of you, I'm praying for you that your faith not fail in this moment. And it's never going to fail. It's always there available to you. It's just whether we're going to use it or not. And sorry, I'm looking at the notes. And I'm also working without a timer, by the way, because we've not worked out Wi-Fi in this room yet, so we're using my cell phone as a hotspot. But what we're looking at basically is in those times is what becomes key is to remember who and what you are. You are, as the Bible describes it, a child of God in whom he is well pleased. In the moment of somebody knocking you down, of speaking bad about you, of not giving you the raise you want or the promotion you want or the attention you want, rather than feeling bad about that and feeling discounted by some other person, you start with, I'm a child of God in whom he is well pleased. I'm a child of God in whom she is well pleased. I'm a child of God in whom it is well pleased. And they are well, whatever pronouns, words you want to use. The highest creator of the world is well pleased with me. So let me stand a little bit taller and know my truth as I walk through this. Let me not accept the negative experience, the negative thoughts, the negative anything. Let me not seek the negative, but also let me refuse to be knocked down by the negative. Because when I use the law of force, of spiritual force, I allow myself to rise above it and stay focused on knowing who and what I am. I am an expression of God. You are an expression of God. The same way a wave is an expression of the ocean, you are an individualized expression of God. All that is good is you. I love you. I bless you. I behold the Christ that absolutely is you. And thank you for being here today. All right. And now I'm going to invite Charlotte up to do the offertory invitation. And then she's going to sing the song now.
That would be asking a lot. It would hurt people's ears here. So, as most of you who know me know, that I'm pretty passionate about our message here at UIG. I even asked Wally if I could share my story. So we are all on a spiritual journey, and it's great when we can be a part of a community of like-minded people who mutually support one another in waking up, growing up, cleaning up, and then ultimately showing up as clear channels or clear vessels that Spirit works through. So to my way of thinking, we have three main ways we support one another here on our evolutionary journey toward greater and greater expressions of unconditional love, because I think that's what there's lots of other things, but that to me is the bottom line, is the unconditional love for one another. And they are our Sunday morning service, which inspires, which it just did, and informs us. Our educational classes, which give us the tools we need to unleash our hidden splendor. And 3 small, ongoing study groups or sacred service teams where we get to share our journeys with one another and serve one another. So, because I think as we grow in spiritual awareness, there's just this call that then comes. this desire to give back through our time, our talents, and our treasure. And for me, the unity teachings have been absolutely transformative. I remember specifically a story. This is around, I don't know what year it was, because I've been in study groups for 22 years. But I'm going to say around 2003, 2004, somewhere around there, I was in a study group and we were reading Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping. And in that book, I learned that I could not be a victim anymore. So up until then, playing the martyr had been my go-to. And once you know something, guess what? You know it, right? And so I backslid and probably still do backslide some, but it's no longer comfortable to be there. And because I know better. And I have a choice now. And so to me, coming here is about giving us more and more choices. And that's why I teach the classes I do, like the one coming up this next Saturday. It's why I've been in a study group for these 22 years, and it's why I financially commit to unity in Greensboro. I want to do my part in making sure that our message lives on in Greensboro. And I want others to have the same opportunity for spiritual growth that I have had. So I want us, because I really want us all to be more at choice in our lives. So with that, I don't see this thing that says how you can give, but we all pretty much know all those different ways.
It's also in the bulletin.
Okay.
Yeah, so all the ways you can give electronically, or if you're going to give in person, it's coming around now. You can direct your energy towards that, and we'll sing the short version. If you've never heard it, you'll know it in just a second and sing along the whole song. Thank you, God, for everything. 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 And together, let us give thanks by reading this affirmation together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. And so it is. All right, I'm going to get Brenda up for announcements, but I have one I'm going to ask you all first, and I need help with somebody counting. So we're going to do this Sunday and next Sunday. The question is whether we want to, now that we're in a dedicated space in a different part of the building, but some of us still need to use the elevator that is right next to the sanctuary where the Presbyterians have their service from 11 to 12. Do we want to keep our service at 10 a.m. or do we want to move the service to 11 a.m.? It is my understanding there are people of both opinions in the room, so the board decided that we would just raise our hands asking that question, and we're going to do it 2 Sundays before we make the final decision. So if you prefer service at 10 a.m., will you raise your hand? Well, I don't even think I need. Can somebody count for me? I was a theater major. Ellie. How many you got? 17. All right, and so if you prefer, don't let all those 10 o'clock hands scare you. If you prefer service at 11 o'clock, please raise your hand and let us know. 1, 2, 3. Tarina doesn't get to cheat. I think it's 5. Yeah, you got it? Okay. All right, that's all I need for now. We're going to do this again next week, and then and then we'll figure out what works best for everybody. No. All right, come on. Hang in. There's lots of really cool stuff going on. Brenda's getting ready to tell you about a lot of it.
Yeah, a lot. And we need a teleprompter so I don't have to read. All righty. All right. I have several announcements. I believe I have 8 or 9. Okay, so if you're a first-time visitor or haven't been here in a long time and have received a welcome packet, please fill out the volunteer connection card and give it to an usher so that we may stay in contact with you. If you haven't received a packet, please raise your hand. We have a gift for you. I don't see any hands raised. Okay. The Kindness Project starts today. We have a meeting, okay? From 12:30 to 2:30, it's a crochet project to promote community in the city by leaving little items out in a public place for people to find to enrich their lives, if only for a moment. We will have a tag attached with Unity in Greensboro's name on it with the opportunity to join us and/or text, email that the item was received and any message they want to leave. That is so cool. Bring a crochet hook, preferably an H hook and some yarn. Other supplies will be provided. Beginners to experts are invited. Others who are not interested in crocheting can assemble the projects. We're asking for a $5 suggested love offering to help cover some of the supplies. All right, Hypnosis the Wall.
Interrupt you. And it's next in the office area today. And it's every third Sunday. I don't think I've ever said that.
Okay, every third Sunday. Okay. So every third Sunday until we say it stops. Awesome. All right, so then I can't do it today, but I would definitely do it. I love to crochet. All right, so next is Hypnosis the Wall with Ellie McFalls. This Wednesday, April 24th at 6:30 p.m. on Zoom. And they should register for that, sign up, just click on the link. All right, that's a yes. We have a new UIG t-shirt. Can you hold those up? There you are. There are mediums through extra, extra large. All shirts are $20. If you work at the Coliseum or want to start helping with that fundraiser, see Suzanne for a free shirt. Suzanne, I want to be added to your summer list for Coliseum. School year's crazy.
There's alcohol training coming up.
I've done that. I've done that for a volunteer group in Winston with the Dash, so I know how to do a lot of that stuff, but it's fun and great for us. Release your hidden splendor, excise your shadow. That's the class Charlotte was talking about. There's a flyer that is going around. It's next Saturday on April 27th, starts at 9:30. 9:45 to
What, 4 o'clock?
it's not on here what it ends at. It ends at 4:30, and then there are 2 follow-up sessions. There's a long article in here. I'm going to read this. In our past, we accepted many untruths about ourselves that we have carried with us into the present. This course, Release Your Hidden Splendor, Excise Your Shadow, is about helping us unravel those stories of I'm not good enough, I don't belong, I'm stupid, I'm not lovable. Whatever the story is, you accept it about yourself. As we peel away more of these stories about ourselves that do not reflect the truth of who we are, spiritual beings, we open the way for our true nature to shine forth. During the face-to-face workshop on Saturday, we'll be familiarizing ourselves with the different elements of the quantum living process. Then during our 3-week Zoom practice sessions, we are coached in how to take any situation that pushes our buttons and work through it to experience its gift. You can please register through the link that can be found in today's newsletter or on the UIG website. Found in Tuesday's newsletter or on the UID website. Sorry about that. My eyes are getting extra blurry. All right, and then I have Candy Bartling Connor will start a monthly study group of world religions. Is Candy here? On first Wednesdays, using the book Unity in World Religions by Paul John Roach. That's going to be from May 1st from 6:30 to 8. They will explore Hinduism, the oldest of the 5 major world religions. And then on Fridays in May, from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m., there will be an in-person class called Reduce Fall Risk and Increase Resiliency. Through yoga and breath, you will build awareness and stability to prevent falls. The class will be taught by yoga instructor Amy Whitfield Day. Register through the link on Tuesday's newsletter. The cost is $60 for the whole class or $15 per class. A minimum of 3 will need to register for the class to make. I know one thing, whenever I go to the doctor, one of the things they always ask me is, have you fallen recently? We need to work on that. Let our chaplains pray with you after service. Rod already introduced himself. Ask chaplains available to raise their hands. Anybody in here else? Oh, lots of chaplains. There's a room across the hall or down the hall where you can practice affirmative prayer in private with one of those trained praying partners. And now we get to have some more music by Anita and Linda. And did you say it's going to be another Olivia Newton-John? And no, a different song. All right, thank you.
No, yeah, I'm gonna use the other one. Okay, another cool song. We'd like to invite everybody to drum. If you want to drum, there's one up here. Please don't be shy. Anyway, Linda turned me on to this song. You know, I'm thinking in the 70s, she was a pretty cool chick, okay? We should have been friends, but I was, still turning into a, but you've just like blossomed early. And anyway, the song is called Earthmaker, and she played it for me, and I was like, oh, I love that. Let's do that song. So it's kind of a Native American flavor to you. So if you want to beat on something or clap or snap your fingers or whatever, we're open to that. But wait until I start singing so you kind of get the rhythm of it all.
You're the colors of the sunrise. You're the voice in the wind. Through the day, you're the sunshine in my eyes. And in the evening, you're the paintings in the dark sky. You're the song of the stars. Night and day, you're the one who brings me life. Speak the word and set the elements in motion. Tell the rains when to fall. Tell the trees and the flowers when to grow. Earth's creation never waits to do what you say. Seasons always change on time. Would that I might respond to you that way. You are earth maker, you made all the world I see. And my earth maker, you mean all the world to me. Sweet nature knows your way. That's why she sings your word and set the elements in motion. Tell the rains when to fall. Tell the trees and the flowers when to grow. Earth's creation never waits to do what you say. Seasons always change on time. Would that I might respond to you that way. Jesus, earth maker, you made all the world I see. And my earth maker, you mean all the world to me. And my earth maker, you mean all the world to me.
Thank you. Thank you for your help.
That was beautiful.
She got a good song.
That was Purdy. Okay, so next week we'll go on to commandment number 3. My title, kind of wrapping it up into a short title, is Respect the Name. You better respect that name. And Sarah Strabel will be here to do the music. And something funny on that, I had texted her this week to see whether she needed Dave Fox to play or whether, she reminded me that she had emailed me several months ago to let me know that she had booked a job on a cruise ship and wouldn't be available for the April date. However, since then, things had changed. And so my mistake, I remembered as soon as she said it, I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot to make the change. And it's good because it turns out she's available. So she will be here next Sunday. And yeah, just go about like looking for your greatness today, looking with expectation. Can you whisper or not talk till I'm done? Go out looking with great expectation for your good today. Look for that. I'm going to add, I purposely didn't put it in the announcements, but I am going to go ahead and tell you in advance, you have several weeks in advance. On Saturday, May 11th, the Saturday before Mother's Day, in this room, we will be having an ordination celebration, and myself and Miranda will both receive our Unity ordinations with a party here. If you want, Ellie and Kathy are going. Thank you. Ellie and Kathy are going to help organize the decorations and food stuff, but that they're not doing it all. We need help with that. And Tal's going to head up the music. They're not doing it all, so y'all can sing something too. Anyway, so we're going to do all that on Saturday from 1:30 to 3:30. We're going to be inspired by a high tea, but not locked into the rules of one. All right. Let's stand up and sing the peace song together. You can hold hands if you would like. If you'd rather not, for any reason, just hold your hands prayerfully in the air, and let's all sing together. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. stand together, let us affirm the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, love is, peace is, light is, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Go have a great week on purpose. If any of you